Good morning, everybody. Hopefully, you're doing well on the practice test here. Remember, you should be using this video to check your answers after you've given it a shot to make sure you're doing things right. And if you did do it right, hopefully, figure out what you were doing wrong so that we're ready for it tomorrow. Okay. If any of these don't make sense from how I explain it, please make sure you check in with your teacher, me or Mr. Angle, to see if we can kind of work through whatever is not clear. So we can be ready for the test tomorrow. All right, so in this first picture, it's asking us to identify each angle pair as adjacent, vertical, or neither. Okay, so 2 and 5, if I look at 2 and 5, they look like they might be vertical, but they're actually not. You can hopefully see 5 is a bigger angle than 2. 5 is made by these two lines, 2 is made by this line and this line. Okay, so they are not vertical. They're not adjacent either because they're not right next to each other. There's angles between them on both sides. So that would be neither. 7 and 4. 7 and 4 are vertical because we have these two lines intersecting and they're straight across the intersection point. Okay, they're the same size. They are vertical. 6 and 7. 6 and 7 are right next to each other, so they are adjacent. Okay, and number 4, 6 and 1. 6 and 1 are not right next to each other. There's an angle between them. They're not vertical either, so those are neither. All right, number 5, identify each pair as complementary, supplementary, or neither. So I have a couple angles here. Together they make a straight line. A straight line is 180 degrees. So angles that add up to 180 are supplementary. Remember, we have a bunch of different ways of remembering the difference between complementary and supplementary. So hopefully you have your favorite that you go to try to remember. All right, here I have angle 1 and angle 2. Well, it says angle 1 is 43 degrees. Angle 2 is 46 degrees. They're separate. Doesn't mean they're not complementary or supplementary. I have to see what they add up to tell. So 46 plus 43 gives me 89. Very close to complementary, but not quite. They'd have to add up to exactly 90 in order to be complementary. So these are neither. Okay. So here it names a couple angles, GHA. So if I see what that is, if I go from G to H to A, that's that angle. Looks like a right angle. And AHD. AHD goes here and here. Okay, that's an obtuse angle. All right, so I can tell they don't make a right angle together, right? This first one, GHA itself, is a right angle. Okay, they don't make a straight line together either, right? They make more than a straight line. So if it was just this, that would be a straight line, but it's this. Right? It's more than 90 and more than 180. So these are neither complementary nor supplementary. All right, number 8. If K and W are complementary angles, so I know they add up to 90, the measure of K is 86. What's the measure of W? Okay, so if I know one of them, I know they're complementary. I just subtract it from 90. That means it's 4 degrees. It's a very small angle. Okay. Next one, the measurement angle J is 46 degrees. What will be the measure of its supplementary angle? So supplementary adds up to 180. So if I know one is 46, I'm just going to subtract that from 180 and get 134. 134 and 46 would add up to 180. Okay. For number 10, I got to use the fact that these are both labeled X, which means these are both the same size. Okay, I know all three angles in the triangle add up to 180. So if I subtract out the 40 for that angle, that leaves 140. So these two together are 140. If they're the same, that means I can divide 140 equally into two pieces, which gives me 70. So X is 70 degrees. 70, 70, and 40 make 180. All right, let's look at number 11. So 11, I have this right angle here. This right angle I know is 90 degrees. That's what a right angle is. There's 155. Or sorry, there's 55. If I add those together, I get 145. To figure out what x is, I subtract it from 180, and that gives me 35 degrees. So x would be 35 degrees for number 11. Okay. Number 12, I got 85 and 38. For those two angles, add those together, I get 123. I know they have to all add up to 180. So subtract 123 from 180 gives me 57. 57 degrees for that angle. All right, next one. Use the heptagon at the right. It says to draw in the triangles first. So remember, when we draw in these triangles, we gotta do it a specific way. All right, we gotta start, pick any vertex we want, and just draw a line to all the vertices it's not already connected to. So I'm gonna pick this one. It's already connected here. So let's get that one to draw a line here, 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 and here. And it's already connected to that. Okay, so there's my triangles. Okay, if I count, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 triangles, which is hopefully not surprising. With 7 sides, remember it's the number of sides minus 2. It tells you the number of triangles it makes. Okay, so the angle sum of all heptagons, all shapes with 7 sides, is 5 times 180. Each triangle is 180, and there's 5 triangles. If I multiply those together, I get 900 degrees. Okay, so it doesn't matter what size or shape the heptagon is, as long as it's a heptagon with 7 sides, all the angles will add up to 90 degrees. All right, what's the sum of all angles in a decagon, a 10-sided figure? So again, we're going to use our formula. 10 minus 2 is 8. 8 triangles times 180 degrees is 1,440. For a nonagon, that's a 9-sided figure, same thing. So 9 minus 2 is 7. 7 triangles times 180 is 1,260. 1,260 degrees in a nonagon. Okay, in this picture, we're doing some detective work here. I want to figure out what angle E, F, and G are. Okay, well, this is labeled 159. The easiest one to probably do first is F, right? It's straight across, which means they're vertical angles, which means they're the same. So this is 159, F is also 159. Okay, to find out E and G, E and G you might be able to tell will also be equal to each other because they're also vertical. To figure out how big they are, we got to use supplementary angles. Okay, so this is 159. If you notice that this and E both make 180 degrees together, we could just do 180 minus 159, see what's left over, and we get 21. So it tells you E has to be 21 degrees, and so does G. Okay, you could have also found G first the same way. G is also supplementary to this 159. Okay, and then that's equal to E. So it doesn't matter which way you do it, they're both 21 degrees. All right, number 17, we're finding the value of X. I see these two angles make a straight line together, which is 180 degrees. They're supplementary. This one is 72, so I'll subtract away the 72. That'll give me 108. So that angle is 108 degrees. All right, this one says find RMV, so that's right here, that's this angle. Okay, I see the little box. The little box tells me this is a right angle, which is 90 degrees. These angles are complementary. This one is 62, so I'll subtract the 62. It's going to be 28. So this one here has to be 28 degrees. Okay. Number 19, find the measure of NMP. NMP right here. So NMQ right here is 99 degrees. Again, I can see that this makes a straight, these two make a straight line together. They're supplementary. So I take 180 degrees in the straight line, subtract the 99, that gives me 81 degrees for this side. 81 degrees. Okay. All right, got a couple here with multiple steps. Here I'm trying to find the measure of angle A. So to figure out the measurement of angle A, first I've got to figure out what this angle is in the triangle, which I can do because these are supplementary. This is 138. So 180 minus 138 is 42. So this angle here is 42. Okay, now that I know that, I can figure out angle A because I know the other two angles in this triangle. So 80 plus 42 equals 122. Take that away from 180, gives you 58. So angle A is 58 degrees. All right, in this diagram, it says measure of angle 1 is 25 degrees. Okay, now there's going to be one just like this on the test tomorrow, so be careful. Okay. It says angle 1 is 25 degrees, but I have angle 1 showing up there twice, so be careful. This is 25, and this is also 25. We want to find the measurement of angle 2 and 3. Okay, so you see the boxes in the corners there, so this is a square. These are all right angles. So if I want to know angle 2, remember angle 2 is broken up into, or this right angle is broken up into 3 angles. We got a 25 degrees here, 25 degrees here, and then whatever angle 2 is in the middle. So if I add up those 25s, that's 50. Okay, subtract 50 from 90, I get 40. So if angle 2 is 40 degrees, that's what it needs to be for this to be a right angle. 25 plus 40 plus another 25 is 90. So angle 2 is 40 degrees. For angle 3, which is right here, well, again, I got a right angle here, so that's 90 degrees. Plus 25 is 115. Okay, I know these three are triangles, so they have to add up to 180. So 180 minus 115 is 65. 65 degrees. All right, we got some vocab matching to do here. So let's see if we can do it. An angle that is so vertical. Okay, it looks like we got more definitions in words, so not all of my definitions are going to be used. So vertical is opposite angles when two lines intersect. That's straight from the definition, so that's E. Supplementary, remember, a supplementary angle is not a 180 degree angle. It's two angles that add up to 180 degrees together. Supplementary and complementary are, along with vertical and adjacent, are words that describe how angles are related to each other. Okay? That's probably one of the biggest mistakes I'll see on the test is people will say a supplementary angle is 180, complementary is 90. It's not. It's multiple angles that add up to that much. Okay, so if I look, supplementary angles are angles that add up to 180 degrees B. Okay, it is not H. An angle that is exactly 90 degrees would be a straight angle, not supplementary. An acute angle is less than 90 degrees. So that is more than 0 but less than 90. That's C. Okay. And adjacent are angles that are next to each other. They have a vertex and a common side, so that's F. And complementary, again, those are angles that add up to 90 degrees, which is G. Okay, it is not one angle that's 90 degrees. That would be a right angle. Complementary are multiple angles that add up to 90, so look up for that add up to. All right, last few questions are some review. Here we got 18 out of 25 families. We're going to write it as a fraction, a decimal, and a percent. So 18 out of 25 is already a fraction. The only thing we would need to do is see if we can reduce it. So we could check, but there is nothing that we can divide both 18 and 25 by. So that is already in simplest form. So 18/25 is the fraction. To make it a decimal, we do 18 divided by 25. Well, let me do the other one first. The other one will be easier. So if I want to make this a percent, remember percent means out of 100. So if I want to turn this to something out of 100, well, I notice I just have to multiply the bottom by 4, which means I just multiply the top by 4. So 18 times 4 is 72. 72 out of 100 is 72%. Okay. As a decimal, once I have the percent, it's really easy to go to the decimal. I just move the decimal 2 places to the left. So the decimal would be 0.72. Okay. The other way I could have gotten that decimal is to do 18 divided by 25, would also give me this. Remember, that's a direct way to turn a fraction into a decimal. All right, so that's all the questions. Hopefully you got most of those right at least. Any you got wrong, make sure you understand why they're wrong. If you don't, please let your teacher know so that we can explain it to you so you'll be ready for the test tomorrow.